There's a secret hidden right in front of you, symbols woven into our world, clues left in plain sight by those who understood something most of us overlook. They were builders of temples, keepers of mysteries, and their legacy was never just about stone or architecture. It was a blueprint for transforming the human mind. Imagine unlocking this hidden knowledge, learning to wield the same force that shaped empires, guided by symbols that whisper of power, balance, and resurrection. This isn't just a story about the past, it's a key to your own potential. And if you stay with me, I'll show you how to read this language of the soul, to see what only a few have truly understood. But be warned, once you see it, you'll never look at the world the same way again. Imagine, for a moment, a builder. Not just any builder, but one who is tasked with constructing a temple unlike any other. A temple that is both eternal and invisible, crafted not with stone, but with the substance of the human spirit. This is the work of the Mason, and it's a symbol of each of our own journeys. The tools and the structures are metaphors for how we can build ourselves, laying a solid foundation of character and strength. Symbols like the square, compass, and all-seeing eye may seem mysterious, but each one holds a specific message. The square speaks of moral integrity, guiding our choices. The compass reminds us to seek balance and measure in all things, and the all-seeing eye, it represents the watchful awareness that one must cultivate, learning to see the unseen, to understand the invisible patterns that shape our lives. But these symbols are more than isolated images. Together, they create a grand design. They are a call to action, a challenge to each of us to awaken, to see past the mundane, and to step into a higher understanding of our purpose and potential. The Masons called it the journey of the builder, but it's a path meant for all who dare to follow it. In this video, we're not just decoding symbols, we're taking that journey ourselves, learning the wisdom that lies at the heart of the Masonic tradition. And as we move forward, we'll see how this symbolic language guides the builder through one of the most mysterious and powerful transformations in existence. And so, we begin with the builder's journey, a path that reveals the struggle, purpose, and resilience necessary to bring light to darkness and meaning to chaos. Let's step into the story. In the legends of Masonic tradition, this builder is called to create a masterpiece, but he faces an unusual challenge. He must build without the familiar sounds of hammer and chisel, without the guidance of voices around him. This is no ordinary construction. It is a temple of the mind and soul, made only from his own inner resources, patience, and vision. Every layer, every part of this temple is a piece of himself, his beliefs, his values, his experiences, and with each stone he lays, he inches closer to understanding his purpose, his true self. But as with any journey worth taking, he encounters obstacles. Three forces confront him: thought, emotion, and action. These three are powerful allies, yet dangerous foes, for they each have the power to shape or destroy. Thought represents his mind, the endless stream of ideas and questions that guide him forward or cloud his vision. Emotion is the force of feeling, deep and consuming, that drives his passion but can easily lead him astray. And action, his will in motion, determines whether his intentions will take form or falter. Together, these three forces test him, shaping the outcome of his work and ultimately his character. At first, these forces betray him. Thought becomes twisted into doubt, emotion descends into unchecked desire, and action becomes reckless, almost destructive. His creation, the very temple he is building, seems to crumble. But the builder does not give up. He knows that if he is to succeed, he must learn to master these forces, to align them so they work in harmony. He must learn to guide his thoughts with clarity, temper his emotions with wisdom, and channel his actions with purpose. Only then can he continue his work and fulfill the call that brought him here. This story is more than an allegory. It's a reminder that each of us, in our own lives, is that builder. We're all constructing something meaningful, piecing together our identities, our dreams, our beliefs. We all face the forces of thought, emotion, and action, and like the builder, we are called to bring them into balance. Thought without clarity leads to confusion, emotion without restraint becomes chaotic, and action without purpose can tear down what we've worked so hard to build. And so, the journey of the builder is also the journey of self-mastery. It's about finding strength and resilience, about knowing that each challenge is part of the process. Just as a sculptor must chip away at stone to reveal a form, we must confront our own rough edges, the unpolished parts of ourselves, to bring forth something extraordinary. The Masonic legend tells us that the builder eventually reaches a breaking point. He's faced betrayal, hardship, even isolation. But in this moment, he makes a choice to forgive, to continue, and to trust the process. He understands that the tools he was given, the very same that nearly destroyed him, are in fact the keys to his own evolution. It is only through struggle, through learning to wield these tools with skill and intention, that he can bring forth the temple within himself. In Masonic tradition, this story of the builder is also a story of resurrection. The builder, who once struggled alone, becomes the master who has risen above. He is reborn, not through miracles or divine intervention, but through his own dedication to the journey. He has learned to create, to shape, and ultimately to transcend. Now let's look closer at the symbols guiding him, guiding us to master this path and reveal the deeper meaning that lies in light and darkness, in the language of symbols, and in the timeless process of building a temple that stands not on earth, but within. Light and darkness, two forces that have captured human imagination since the dawn of time. In Masonic tradition, these forces are more than mere opposites. They represent the fundamental tensions within us all: ignorance and knowledge, chaos and order, blindness and sight. But what if these two, rather than being enemies, were necessary companions on the path to understanding ourselves? Imagine standing alone in darkness. At first, there's fear, discomfort, the sense of being lost. But then, a single flame appears, a light in the void. That light represents knowledge, awareness, the beginning of vision. Yet, the Masons teach us that light is meaningful only because of darkness. It is only in darkness that light can truly shine. In this way, darkness symbolizes not merely the unknown, but a fertile ground, a place of potential, of possibility, waiting to be awakened. Consider how often we, in our own lives, turn away from darkness, whether it's difficult experiences, painful memories, or uncertainties about the future. We are taught to fear what we don't understand. But within the Masonic framework, this darkness is where we begin. The void, as it's called, is the blank canvas on which we paint our inner worlds. In facing our own darkness, we begin the work of shaping ourselves, of bringing clarity to the things we once chose to ignore or hide away. In Masonic art, we see the builder cloaked in a blue robe, crowned with golden light. Here, blue represents wisdom, a calm, steady presence amidst mystery, and gold symbolizes enlightenment, the light of insight that pierces through ignorance. This builder stands at the boundary between light and darkness, learning to work with both. He knows that light reveals, but it is in darkness where transformation begins. But light and darkness are more than metaphors. They are tools. The Masons teach that by embracing both forces, we gain a fuller picture of ourselves. Darkness is not merely something to conquer. It is something to understand, to work with. The hidden aspects of our minds, the parts we often overlook, hold valuable lessons. We are called to bring our light, our awareness, into these places, to navigate them with courage and curiosity rather than fear. Yet, there is a risk. The builder learns that too much light can be as blinding as darkness. In a world flooded with information, endless distractions, and external expectations, it's easy to be overwhelmed, to lose sight of what truly matters. So, the task is balance, to cultivate light without losing oneself, to illuminate without overshadowing. As the builder progresses, he realizes that light is not an external force, but something within. It grows from understanding, from resilience, from the willingness to confront one's own shadows. And it is this inner light that guides him forward, a steady beacon amidst uncertainty, showing him the path, even when all seems dark. So, what does this mean for us? To work with light and darkness is to recognize that each experience, each challenge, holds a hidden lesson, a piece of the puzzle that makes up who we are. The Masonic builder teaches us that real growth comes not from avoiding difficulty, but from embracing it. The light we seek is not out there. It is something we cultivate, something we bring forth. As we move to the next part, we will delve deeper into how the Masons use the symbol of the stairway, a path of mastery and understanding, to guide the builder through the worlds of light and darkness. This journey is one of constant ascent, one step at a time, where each step reveals a new layer of meaning, of purpose, and of self. In the Masonic tradition, there are three forces that shape every person's journey, three pillars that are essential for human development. These are thought, emotion, action. Imagine them as the foundational supports of a great temple, each one necessary to keep it standing, each one influencing the integrity and balance of the structure. But these are no ordinary pillars. They are the very forces that guide our lives, shaping who we are and how we interact with the world around us. Thought is the first pillar, representing the mind, the endless realm of ideas, beliefs, questions, and insights. Thought is our inner voice, the lens through which we perceive reality. It can guide us toward truth or distract us with illusion. The Masons teach us that to master thought, we must learn to discipline our minds, to seek clarity over chaos, and to focus on the ideas that uplift rather than those that mislead. Thought is a powerful creator, shaping the world through the beliefs we hold and the perspectives we adopt. When used with intention, it builds us up, constructing a mental framework that supports our growth. But left untamed, it becomes a labyrinth, trapping us in endless loops and doubts. The second pillar is emotion. Emotion is the heart of experience, the driving force of passion, empathy, and connection. It is through emotion that we feel alive, that we are moved by beauty, love, and purpose. But emotion is also the source of our greatest challenges: anger, jealousy, fear, and desire. In the journey of self-mastery, the Masons teach that we must learn to harness emotion, to guide it rather than be controlled by it. This doesn't mean suppressing our feelings. Rather, it means channeling them in ways that serve us, recognizing when they uplift us and when they may lead us astray. Emotion, when mastered, becomes a powerful ally, propelling us forward with conviction and compassion. Yet, when it controls us, it can be as destructive as any physical force, tearing down everything we've worked to build. Finally, there is action. Action is where thought and emotion come together in the physical world. It's the pillar that gives form to our ideas, that makes our intentions real. In the Masonic journey, action is not merely doing. It is purposeful, deliberate, and aligned with the highest principles. It requires courage, discipline, and the understanding that every action, no matter how small, has an impact. When thought and emotion are balanced, action becomes a natural expression of who we are, a means of shaping the world in alignment with our deepest values. But when they are not in harmony, action can become reckless or hollow, disconnected from our true intentions. These three pillars, DJ, thought, emotion, and action, DJ work together to create balance within us. Thought without emotion becomes cold and calculating, disconnected from life's richness. Emotion without thought becomes impulsive and uncontrolled, led by fleeting desires. And without action, even the most profound thoughts and feelings remain unrealized, mere shadows of what could be. In the Masonic allegory, the builder learns that his journey is one of integrating these three forces. It is not enough to be wise, one must also be compassionate. It is not enough to feel deeply, one must also act with purpose. And it is not enough to act, one must do so with clarity and insight. This balance is what makes the builder whole, what turns an individual's scattered pieces into a cohesive, meaningful life. But mastering these is no simple task. It requires vigilance and patience. Thought, emotion, and action are constantly in flux, responding to the world around us, shaped by our experiences and choices. Each day, we are challenged to bring them into alignment, to create harmony out of chaos. This is the essence of self-mastery, not a single achievement, but a daily practice of refinement, of checking in with ourselves and adjusting as needed. And so, each of us stands as our own builder, entrusted with the responsibility of balancing these pillars within our own lives. It's a task that demands awareness, resilience, and humility, and the Masons teach us that by refining these three pillars, we don't just shape ourselves, we shape the world around us. For when we live in balance, we bring balance to everything we touch. As we move forward, we'll see how these three forces are reflected in Masonic symbols, guiding us to create a life that is not only strong, but meaningful. Join me as we climb the stairway of mastery, learning how thought, emotion, and action become steps on the path to personal transformation. In Masonic tradition, the image of a stairway holds a profound significance. It's more than a simple path from one level to the next. It's a journey of mastery, a progression through stages of understanding and growth. Each step is a symbol, a challenge to be overcome, a lesson to be learned. The stairway invites the builder to ascend, to elevate his mind and spirit, moving closer to wisdom with each step. The stairway begins at ground level, where two great pillars stand, symbols of the duality of existence. They represent light and dark, order and chaos, the seen and the unseen. To take the first step, the builder must acknowledge this duality, understanding that life is a balance of opposites. This is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without this grounding, the journey upward would be impossible, for it is in navigating life's polarities that the builder gains strength and insight. As he moves up, he encounters a series of 7 steps, each one representing an essential field of human knowledge: grammar, rhetoric, logic, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. In the Masonic tradition, these disciplines are not merely academic. They are steps on a spiritual path. grammar and rhetoric teach him to understand and express himself clearly, to articulate his truth. Logic and arithmetic sharpen his mind, honing his ability to think critically and solve problems. Geometry and astronomy connect him to the order of the universe, revealing the beauty and precision of creation. And then there is music, a language that speaks directly to the soul, reminding him of harmony and rhythm, of the unseen forces that guide all life. Each of these disciplines serves as a tool, shaping the builder's mind and soul. They are steps of refinement, teaching him to bring order to his thoughts, beauty to his words, and purpose to his actions. The Masons believed that mastery in these fields prepares one not only to understand the world, but to transcend it, to perceive a higher reality that lies beyond the physical. But the stairway does not end here. Beyond the 7 steps, the builder encounters another series, 5 steps representing the senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. These are his tools for perceiving the world, for experiencing life in all its richness. Yet, he learns that the senses are double-edged. They can both reveal and deceive. Sight may show him beauty, but can also blind him with illusions. Hearing may bring wisdom, but it can also lead him astray with lies. Each sense, the Masons teach, must be mastered, refined, so that it serves the builder's higher purpose rather than distracting him from it. Then, as he ascends further, he finds 3 final steps, symbols of the ancient Trinity that runs through countless spiritual traditions. They represent 3 aspects of the self: body, mind, and spirit. These 3 are the ultimate balance, the culmination of the journey. They remind the builder that while he is a physical being, he is also a mind and a soul. True mastery lies in uniting these parts, bringing body, mind, and spirit into harmony. To climb the stairway is to move from ignorance to understanding, from chaos to order, from isolation to unity. But this journey is not about escaping the world. It is about understanding it more deeply, learning to see with clarity, to feel with compassion, to act with purpose. The stairway invites each of us to ascend, to refine ourselves, to elevate our lives so that we may bring something meaningful to the world. This journey is never complete. The stairway goes on forever, leading us to higher and higher states of awareness. And so, each step becomes a meditation, a practice, a call to awaken. The Masons teach us that the true path to wisdom is not a single revelation, but a series of gradual insights, each one lifting us a little closer to the light. As we continue, let us carry with us the lessons of the stairway, using them as tools to shape our journey. Now, we turn to the final, and perhaps the most mysterious, of symbols, the all-seeing eye, the symbol that awaits at the top, representing the culmination of this ascent, the vision that sees beyond sight, the awareness that transcends illusion. At the pinnacle of the Masonic journey lies one of its most enigmatic and powerful symbols, the Eye of Providence, often called the all-seeing eye. This eye, set within a triangle, gazes down from above, watching over creation, seemingly offering wisdom, guidance, and insight. But what does it truly mean? Why has this symbol captivated, inspired, and even unsettled so many throughout history? The Eye of Providence is no ordinary eye. It represents vision beyond sight, a form of awareness that transcends the physical. It is often linked to the idea of divine oversight, a guiding force or consciousness that observes and understands all things. For the Masons, this eye is a symbol of a heightened state of awareness, a glimpse into a deeper reality where one sees not only the world, but also oneself, stripped of illusion. To see through this eye is to see beyond what is on the surface, beyond appearances, into the very essence of existence. In Masonic teachings, the eye is also a reminder that we are never alone. It speaks of an internal watcher, the part of ourselves that quietly observes our thoughts, our actions, our motives. This inner observer holds us accountable, urging us to act with integrity, to live in alignment with our highest values. The all-seeing eye invites us to question ourselves. Are we true to our purpose? Are we living by principles? Are we guided by wisdom? It serves as a silent reminder that we too must cultivate this inner vision if we are to master ourselves. But there is more. The triangle that frames the eye holds its own layers of meaning. In esoteric thought, the triangle represents the Trinity: body, mind, and spirit, DJ. The three elements that, when aligned, form a stable foundation for personal growth. Each side of the triangle is crucial, and within its shape, the eye sits as a unifying force. It's a powerful image of harmony, suggesting that only by balancing these three aspects of ourselves can we see clearly and act purposefully. This eye, however, is not only about inner sight, it is also about unity. By seeing through this eye, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of all things, that we are part of a larger design. The Masons teach that each individual is a vital part of this grand architecture. The choices we make, the actions we take, ripple out into the world, shaping it. And so, the all-seeing eye is both a guide and a guardian, urging us to live consciously, to consider the effects of our actions, to see ourselves as builders of the world we inhabit. Yet, the eye also reveals an uncomfortable truth. To see clearly is not always to find comfort. It means facing our shadows, recognizing our flaws, confronting the aspects of ourselves we may wish to ignore. True vision, the Masons tell us, requires honesty, humility, and courage. The all-seeing eye challenges us to look within and to ask the hard questions. It is an invitation to face the parts of ourselves that still need growth, to see where we might still be blind. This is the path to self-mastery, to wisdom, to wholeness. As we move forward, we will see how this awareness, this sight beyond sight, can transform our journey as builders of our own lives. Let us continue carrying with us the light of this inner vision to become the architects of a world built on integrity, purpose, and truth. Throughout Masonic tradition, one idea stands at the heart of every symbol, every teaching, every journey: the concept of the inner temple. Unlike temples of stone and mortar, this temple is intangible. It is a place of the mind and spirit, built not by the hands of a mason, but by the intentions, actions, and values of the individual. This inner temple is the ultimate structure we are each tasked to build. Imagine for a moment that your character, your values, your dreams, and your actions are the stones and pillars of this temple. Each thought, each choice, each lesson learned becomes a part of the structure, adding to its stability, its strength. But this is no easy task. The Masons teach that building the inner temple requires a commitment to self-mastery, discipline, and integrity. The foundation of this temple is laid in silence and solitude, in those moments when no one is watching, when the only guidance comes from within. In this inner temple, every stone represents a principle or virtue we hold dear: honesty, compassion, resilience, courage. These are the elements that form its walls, the virtues that make it resilient. Just as a stone temple must withstand the forces of nature, our inner temple must be able to endure life's challenges, to stand firm even when the world around us trembles. And so, each decision, Each moment of growth strengthens this temple, making it a place of refuge, a source of inner strength. But the work does not stop at building walls. Within the temple lies a sacred space, a place of clarity and reflection. This is where we confront ourselves, where we seek truth, where we ask the questions that guide us. In the Masonic tradition, this inner sanctuary is where we cultivate wisdom, where we draw upon the strength we've built, and where we find the courage to face both our shadows and our light. It is a space of honesty, where we meet ourselves without pretense, and in doing so, we are refined. Yet, the Masons remind us that building the inner temple is never truly finished. It is a lifetime journey, a continual process of growth, of learning, of striving for a higher ideal. With each experience, each challenge overcome, we add another layer, another stone, another step upward. This temple grows with us, becoming not only a symbol of who we are, but of who we aspire to be. As we build this inner temple, we are reminded that it is not just for ourselves. This temple, once strong and complete, becomes a place from which we can serve others, a place from which we can lead and inspire. Just as ancient temples were built as sanctuaries, so too is our inner temple a source of light for the world. Through our own self-mastery, we bring something powerful to those around us, a reminder that true strength lies within and that each of us has to become something greater. And so, as we reach this final part of our journey, let us carry this understanding forward, that the inner temple is both a gift and a responsibility. It is a call to live with integrity, to build with purpose, and to become a source of light in a world that so often needs it. Each stone, each step brings us closer to that vision, a temple of the self, built not of stone, but of the highest ideals within us all. As we reach the end of this journey, we arrive at one final, essential truth in Masonic thought, the idea of the self as the ultimate judge of the inner temple. Through symbols, rituals, and teachings, we've seen how the Masons use allegory to guide the builder on a path of self-mastery, integrity, and wisdom. But in the end, no external force holds the final judgment. Instead, it is the self that weighs the worth of the temple we have built within. In Masonic tradition, every individual is responsible for their own inner work. The choices we make, the actions we take, the intentions we hold dear. All these become the foundation, the walls, the sacred space of our inner temple. And as we build, we must also be the observer, the one who stands back to see whether this structure aligns with our values, our purpose, our truth. We become both the architect and the judge, responsible not just for the construction, but for its integrity. This idea challenges us to live with accountability. Each stone we place within the temple of ourselves, DJ. The thoughts, decisions, and deeds of DJ must stand the test of time. It calls us to ask, are we building with integrity? Are we being true to our highest values? Are we, in every action, aligning with the principles we hold dear? In this way, the judgment is not punitive, it's reflective, a process of honest self-assessment and continual refinement. The Masons teach that at the end of one's journey, it is this inner judgment that truly matters. DJ, not the approval of others, not the rewards or accolades, but the knowledge that we have lived with integrity, that we have been true to the temple within. This final judgment is not a single moment, but an ongoing process, a daily reflection that keeps us aligned, guiding us toward greater understanding, compassion, and strength. In the end, the inner temple stands as a reflection of who we are, of what we have chosen to create. And as we look upon our work, we become aware of its purpose, of its meaning, and of the legacy it leaves behind. We see ourselves as both the builder and the judge, responsible for the impact we make on ourselves and on the world. The true essence of Masonic wisdom is found here, in this understanding that each of us holds the power, the responsibility, and the privilege to shape our own lives with purpose. And so, as we step away from this journey, let us remember that the real temple is built from within, guided by the principles we choose to uphold. Let us be the architects of our own lives, building with integrity and judging ourselves with honesty. For in the end, the inner temple is the lasting testament of who we are. A legacy of self-mastery, wisdom, and truth. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. May we all continue to build with purpose, to judge with clarity, and to live as true builders of the lives we are meant to create.